Well, I've stopped in Croft. I've driven through this place, goodness knows how many times, never stopped. And there was a massive hole up on the one end south from Scotch Corner, so they get back home. I went to make a detour. And it'd take me over the bridge at Croft. And with it being a lovely day, I decided that I would stop and have a look at the place. Yeah, very interesting. Oh, this is Croft Church. I think Lewis Carroll, his father, was a vicar here. Not that Lewis Carroll was his correct name. It's a wonderful old building, a multitude of different brickwork on there. And like most of these churches, hard up, the first thing that goes is repairing the clock. This is the Chater grave, and grave in that matter. Baronets. And here is the grave of Lewis Carroll's parents. His name, Lewis Carroll's name, correct name, was Charles Ludwig Dodgson. And graves of people from Hanleby Hall. The coat of arms. And this John Todd, who lived at Hanleby Hall, and in fact lived at Tranby Park in the East Riding of Yorkshire. Must look that up. Tranby Park, never heard of it. Amazing little patch of flowers growing here. First week in September. Oh, it's lovely those. Some daisy type flower. Oh, lots of them. Well, I've crossed the bridge into Herworth. And this is the River Tees. It's incredibly low. Well, quite a decent pace when it shallows up here. And there is the bridge. Unfortunately, it swims in the wrong direction. See if we can get round the other side. Have a look. And that's looking upstream from the bridge at Croft, River Tees. And the river being so low, we can get to this position. Look at the bridge between Croft and Herworth over the River Tees. This lovely autumn sunshine. Put it down that tree. It is. It's a massive structure. It carries an awful lot of traffic. It's quite strange that these massive bridges were built before the days of motor traffic, you know, the days of stagecoaches. Behind me is a coaching inn, Croft Inn. Now they're taking 45-ton lorries. And this is the Croft Hotel, once a major coaching inn. Now very much more subdued. I've just come to have a look at the Bedale back here at the river flow gauging station. This This is the leaving level gauge of Breedale Beck. This little weir here. Everything that's up in the Breedale weir pool has to come up through here. I suspect it would be a good place to fish this. I think it'd be a fair amount of grayling in there. Of course in October we sometimes get a big run of sea trout and they all have to come up here. It was such a quiet, peaceful place, this. If I turn round, you've got this monumental structure. As I say, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to ask. Just to give you some idea of where we are, this is the site of Grimskar Farm, where a Wellington bomber returning to Leeming took the roof off and the plane ploughed into the garden and caught fire and 3 men were killed. But I made a video about that some time ago. They're buried in Leeming churchyard. Absolutely ancient apple trees, the remains of the orchard at Grimskar Farm. Still here, several trees. Some of the trees absolutely laden with apples. More and more apple trees. This looks like a monumental pear tree. Bunches of pears. Well, I've just come down Mill Lane at Leeming Bar. Last time I was down here, they were piling loads of soil in here. This time when I come down, there's this absolutely enormous structure, which they're still on with now. I don't know what it is. I haven't a clue. Maybe I'll stop on the way back and ask somebody what it's going to be. And this is the other end of it. I've just been asking the blocks who are building the place what it is. It's for making compost. A company called New Quip in Leeming Bar, apparently. I just up for a walk in the North Yorkshire countryside. This is a real greeter. The evidence of a sort of big estate planting the size of these conifers here. Absolutely enormous. And everywhere there are butterbur flowers on this gravelly bank. The leaves come later. Wonderful wood anemones just beginning to show. So clean and tidy, isn't it? Yeah. Other side meadow the better, but that was a couple of little detours. You see the string bridge down there. Oh yeah, yeah, all right, yeah. Yeah. Oh, the footbridge. Yeah, and footpath. Nice footpath. Yeah. Nice hill or whatever they call it. Well, this is Upper Swaledale. And this wonderful afternoon. The field patterns over there, superb. Well, Ashford Church with its lime-watched tower, which has caused a great deal of controversy. Well, this is Ashford Church. When they said they'd painted the tower white, I thought it was an April Fool's joke. But there it is. The whole thing is painted white. I'm not sure whether I like it or not. So it's got a lime wash on it. The dandelions are absolutely amazing this time of year, and this grass verge here. We just take them for granted. Amazing patch of periwinkle here. Gorgeous. Lovely display of marsh marigold on this swampy ground here. A giant buttercup. Yeah, glorious thing. All the spears of the yellow iris yet to come. And butterfly on the garlic. I think it's a female orange tip. They don't have the orange tips. They're just quite plain. Big swathes of garlic and lots of white butterflies. And this, so 8. And I've just seen a hare. Unfortunately, it saw me first. It was off. And lots of bluebells and greater stitchwort right along the backside here. Oh, wonderful. A typical English bluebell. This drooping top and long bell-like flowers and deep blue, unlike the Spanish, which is more upright and a paler blue. And low down in almost all this vegetation, lots of these. A common sorrel with its clover-shaped leaves, which are quite sour and lemony if you chew them. Nice in salads. In the wetter areas you get this flower, bugle, with its lovely deep blue flowers. They're everywhere. This is in the woodland. A wonderful display. There's this huge fallen larch tree. two large fungi, gradually consuming the debris which it brought down, recycling it. Everywhere, all the way up the valley side here on the south facing side. They get all the sunshine before the leaves appear on the tree. So all these fresh ferns appearing. And just down from the bluebells, this bit of the valley side is covered with garlic. It's strange how you don't find them together. In this pool there appear to be some little fish. So we just sneak up and see what they are. I suspect a little trout. Next to no rain for weeks. You can see it here, the beck trickling away over the stones. But when we do get heavy rain, this becomes a raging torrent. You can see by it looks a tree which it's been carrying down. And last of the primroses, with a big bee coming in. Big long tongue. A real heavy weight. A wonderful splash of blue. All this green. Yeah, another shade-loving plant. Well, it does thrive in the sunshine. Forget-me-nots. There are different kinds of forget-me-not. Some of them can be a real nuisance in the garden. And often, the blue ones, they're from the same plant. You get pink ones. Another moisture-loving plant is the golden saxifrage. We tend to overlook it. It's got that lovely lime green. It's got flowers. Here's a patch of avon. I never know whether they're water avens or wood avens or what they are. They're a lovely flower. Delicate colour they've got. There's quite a lot of this in this woodland. Bird cherry. A nice smell. And it's very prone to becoming in caterpillars which make a net and consume all the leaves. But for the moment, it looks quite wonderful. You can see it beginning there, in this sort of net. Zillions of little caterpillars. They'll soon take over the whole bush, being more and more of it. Let's just have a look inside this one. And there you can see the caterpillars. Trying to get out of the sun. Now I've broken their net open. Very common, but very destructive. This one is particularly badly affected. Every tip. It's got one of these sort of caterpillar nests in. They'll soon start breaking out and venturing all over the plant. Absolute blaze of gorse here. Stunning. And on the other side, over there, it's smell of coconut. Half a dozen rabbits here when I pulled up in the car, but they've all gone. It's absolutely amazing. I'm surprised it's popular in people's gardens. I mean, apart from the fact it's very thorny, but and it also burns incredibly well. Well, it's Wednesday, May the 6th, and this is the road on the way to Tan Hill. It's at the top of the Pennines. Over there, you can just see the flash of traffic windows as they go over the top of Stainmore, dropping down into Cumbria. It looks totally barren, but of course all this dark brown stuff in front of me is heather. When it flowers in August, it's a wonderful scene. But down there you'll notice sort of square things, look like fields but they're not. It's where the heather has been cut, so you get new shoots. Because contrary to what it looks like, this is quite heavily managed for grouse, producing grouse for shooting. The shooting season starts on August the 12th, and if you want to shoot grouse up here, it's an expensive business. Well, this is Tan Hill Inn. It's the highest pub in England. And very occasionally, you get such severe winters, drinkers get trapped up here. In fact, some people, knowing that the weather conditions are like, they come up here hoping they're going to get trapped in. Sound of a generator going in the background. If you're a cyclist and you're over Tan Hill and you're making your way down to Reith, there are some half a dozen horrendous potholes on the way down, in the carriageway, not on the edge, it's the carriageway. If you'd have on a bike, even at a relatively slow speed, it'd absolutely smash your front wheel and bring you off, obviously. Well, you might wonder why there is a pub in the middle of nowhere. Why was this thing ever built? Well, this area used to be the centre for lead mining. There were thousands of lead miners working in the dales, and the lead needed, the ore which they mined, needed treating first of all to concentrate it. So they were carting a load of rubbish from the mines up in the hills down to the depots where it was taken away for refining. And to do that they needed coal. And up here, Tan Hill, there were some coal pits which produced that coal. If you wander over there, there's still evidence of it. For a day like today, it's nice up here. But, as I say, it can be horrendous. And the Pennine Way also passes this way. Kelwood is 4.5 miles down there. It's a bit more like a road than a footpath. Well, just dropped down from Tan Hill. Here are these yurts, as they're called, albeit quite flush yurts. You stay for your holidays. Toilet block and shower block there. This is Thwaite. These are Thwaite meadows. You see, they all have a barn in the middle, or on one side, usually in a corner. Everywhere, field barns. Down below used to be the bottom floor was for keeping livestock, fresh in the winter time, and the upstairs, as it were, was for keeping hay. You see where the two openings on this barn in front of me where they're loading the hay into the upstairs. So when they were feeding the animals in the winter time, they just sat and drop it through a hole in the floor. Many of them fell into ruin, but there have been great efforts made to renovate many of them. But this view appears on many, many postcards. I've just counted up, there are 20 field barns I can see from here. Thwaite. I don't think there's anybody here in the winter time. I think they're all holiday cottages. Very few residents left there. But it used to be a thriving place a while ago. I seem to remember my dad telling me it had a bit of resurgence. As you're climbing out of Thwaite, there's a right turn to Hawes, which takes you over Buttertub's Pass, which is quite well known. It's not a difficult drive over there. Well, the sun has come out. See the shadows behind the walls. These are the famous Grimskar meadows. All the field barns and all the fields with strange shapes. At this time of year they used to be covered in buttercups. I suppose the herbicides you just get rid of. They're of no use to grazing animals. Cows don't like buttercups and sheep don't like them either. Tourists like them. Well, this is a real swale Isles in Swaledale. You can see just how low it is. This is Isles Bridge. Three arches. I've never seen the river as low. There's a little yellow flower growing on the brickwork here. Oh, so I don't know what it is. Usually it's either leaf toadflax you get growing on the calcium-rich cement at Isles Bridge. You get this. They're just growing on this lay-by here is this bluebell, which is a glorious thing, albeit in the wrong place. Or a new sign. Anyway, come here just to see what the early purple orchid and green winged orchid situation is. See if there are any. Oh, there's one there. There are lots of them. And this one has these incredible spotty leaves. Well, that really spots, they're great big blotches. I've never seen that before. Oh, lovely flower that is. I think it is an early purple orchid. There's a little group of them. They're beginning to come to an end. All the lower flowers are dying off. Kilburn Bridge on the River Yore. This lovely evening sunshine. That looks like a dead sheep over there, unfortunately. But the river's hardly moving. There are a few flies coming off, but not a lot. It's a bit early. It's only 7 o'clock. There are some small fish rising, but nothing very much. River very low. Well, that's it for now. This is a beautiful part of the world, it really is. Even more beautiful given the weather that we've had the last few weeks. Although everything is incredibly dry. When I was playing these, when I was editing this lot, I was amazed by the bird song. This time of year, absolutely wonderful. Anyway, whatever you're doing, enjoy the spring and the summer, and I'll see you around again. Take care. Bye-bye.